And I've been reading, you've been writing. So, I mean, you and your firm, it just seems like, I don't know, maybe I'm paying more attention, but are you guys getting more prolific on a wider range of shit?
We are. What we've been doing is we're thinking about the world as an AI-driven world. What happens, right? What happens in the future of work? What happens with customer experience? What happens when you have to make expert systems and decisions? Can you have explainable AI, right? Or explainable machine learning? And so we're trying to figure out how that affects what's happening around the world. And so everybody on the team is looking at AI, and you're seeing us write about all the different implications from privacy and security to what's going on with, CXOs. What do they have to do? So
And you got Elon Musk running around scaring the shit out of everybody right now on AI, right?
and his stock price too. What the hell? I mean, my stock is overvalued. Dude, don't tweet that. You're up there with he's got a Trumpism on that puppy.
It's always interesting when a CEO says that because, of course, it doesn't happen every day. It's a rarity. I think there was a time when Gates did it, if I'm not mistaken. But it's an always an interesting move.
We call it guilty Tourette's, but I don't know.
Yeah. So, what is your latest thinking? Where should my head be on AI right now?
Well, I think we look the hottest thing we put out there was something called the 7 outcomes of AI. And when we think about the 7 outcomes, what we're talking about is the fact that we start out by saying, hey, what's going on? Tell me what's going on. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Then we start wanting notifications and alerts and, warn me when, I'm out of beer in the fridge. Right.
Please.
And then
please warn me way before I'm out of beer in the fridge.
And then we have recommendations like, hey, make a suggestion. Okay, well, tell me what kind of beer to get. I should order that. And then automate the process because I don't want to think about that. When I'm out of beer, just fill it up. Right. You know what I like. And so that process we've been able to do, we can be able to fake it for the last, 15, 20 years. Rules engines, workflows, complex event processing, policy, right? Triggers, like all these things and listenings, right? So all that stuff we could fake. We can't do that anymore if we're trying to do it at 100 million interactions a second, right? 1 billion objects, right? At that scale, that's where the AI comes in. And so we start getting to things where we're trying to predict what happens next. And then ultimately, we're trying to get a level of prevention. And then at some point, we're doing situational awareness. Well, people who talk about AI keep talking about the math, the data, the algorithms, all that other stuff. The real thing is like what business outcomes you're trying to achieve, and then let's go figure out what the AI is supposed to do. And so this rainbow chart that I have, it seems to be resonating with folks. And what that really means is people are trying to figure out what we do.
Am I wrong, or have I seen that flying around Twitter and LinkedIn?
I think so.
Okay.
So, yeah. And so the way we look at this is we're trying to figure out, hey, where can you use AI? And then the second thing we try to think about is AI and the ethical implications. And the problem with that is folks are running around saying, we have to think of a universal code of ethics. What happens to the machines kill us? Back to the Elon thing, right? Like these machines are going to come and kill us, and we're going to program evil into our machines. And it's partially true, but the couple of things that you think about, we can't even agree on religions. We can't even agree on cultural norms, right? AI is going to have all these different flavors of ethics, right? So
does this just mean we should buy guns so we can shoot our computers?
No, we need electromagnetic discharges. We're going to need those.
Or the computers have lasers, and we got to go get lasers.
We just want an EMF charge. Disrupt the whole thing. Boom. Everything goes out like in the Matrix.
The house next door blew up, honey. Oh, fuck. They must be getting attacked by their computers, so they blew the fucking place up. Is that what's going to happen?
It might be. I just need an EMF charge. Shut down the computer so it doesn't come back alive. I'll be okay. No, or Terminator style. But no, the thing is that, the ethics work like this. Let's say 2 autonomous vehicles get into an accident, or an autonomous vehicle hits a person, right? What happens in Canada? Oh, okay. Culturally, it might be they exchange things and say, oh, I'm so sorry. I apologize. We'll put everything together.
In Canada, if the autonomous vehicle hits the person says, sorry.
Exactly.
That's what happens in Canada.
Well, or
right, that old joke.
Yeah.
Never said thank you to a bank machine. You might just be a Canadian.
Well, and that's the cultural norm, right? If it was in Russia, what would happen? Everybody would have a different story, and a new video would emerge that showed you were right, right? Because everyone has those dash cams, right? So you get a different response. If it was in China, you hit a dog, what would happen? You'd be like, run that dog over 10 more times so it's dead. It's cheaper than having a dog that's disabled.
Yeah, that's not heavy.
But that would happen because the judge would say you need to take care of the dog for the rest of their life. That could be millions of dollars. The algorithm is like, run that puppy over 3 times, it's dead. So
Excellent.
it's horrible. But that's the cultural thing, right? And the stereotype, of course. Please don't take those stereotypes that way. But the point being is like that's what people would expect, right? And is that one set of ethics? Is that multiple ethics? Is there one right way? We get into those kind of discussions.
And also, ethics change or evolve over time, obviously, right? And so we are comfortable, and I forget who said this, but it's not as if we get dropped into the future. So if you sort of think about if people are worried about, okay, what's AI going to be like in, I don't know, 20 years? It's not like we go from now to 20 years. We evolve there, right? And if you look at what you and I are comfortable with technologically today, if you were to take ourselves from 15 years ago and then just drop us into 2017, sure, we'd be freaked the fuck out. But that's not what happens, right? We individually and as a culture, as a society, and as a world evolve into the shit, right?
Oh, definitely. And you don't want to have an idiocracy moment either. When you wake up and you're like, no.
Yeah. Now, I guess you could argue, like, what if we don't evolve fast enough to, keep our hand on AI or to keep up with AI? What if it gets out in front of us?
That is one of the fears. Like, will we be outsmarted by the aliens? So by our machines and basically we'll
by
feel like
aliens
the aliens we created. So here's the thing. I wonder, right? Because I was watching The Matrix, and at the end of The Matrix, I realized, the good news is being human. Like, we write the rules, but we break the rules, right? And machines aren't really good at breaking rules. And I think we have hope in the fact that we can see between the lines, break the rules, and when you know how to do that, right, you're back in control. But I don't think that's going to be an easy thing for us to figure out. But we are going to evolve over time. And so the question we typically ask folks is: imagine a baby is born in the year 2100. What rights do they have? Right? What's it going to be like? Right? What do they get on day one? Do they have privacy? Can they be disconnected? Can they, do they have to belong to something? Are thoughts being fed into their heads? Right?
You got to believe they're born with their genome mapped, and they know that. I mean, they just that probably happens before they're born, right?
I think so. I don't know, and that's the conversation that that's worth a brainstorm.